I believe.
Death sentences, one-episode contracts, and last-minute saves. Remember when TV executives almost killed off characters that would go on to define entire shows? Some of the most iconic faces in television history were supposed to disappear after a single episode, get written off permanently, or never make it past the pilot. Today, we're counting down 14 beloved TV characters who dodged the Grim Reaper's pink slip and became legends instead. All right, let's count down 14 characters who were supposed to be goners but became television royalty instead. Number 14, Cliff Clavin, Cheers. Where everybody knows your name, and apparently everybody wanted to know this guy's name too, even though he was supposed to disappear faster than a beer at closing time. Cheers premiered in 1982 and became one of the most beloved sitcoms in television history. Set in a Boston bar, it followed bartender Sam Malone, played by Ted Danson, waitress Diane Chambers, played by Shelley Long, and a colorful cast of regulars who made the bar feel like home. The show was smart, funny, and somehow made alcoholism look adorable. Enter Cliff Clavin, the know-it-all mailman played by John Ratzenberger. He was supposed to be a one-off character, just another background patron to fill out the bar. Ratzenberger wasn't even originally auditioning for Cliff. He showed up for a different role, didn't get it, and on his way out asked if they needed a bar know-it-all. The producers looked at each other, probably shrugged, and said, sure, why not? That improvisation changed everything. Cliff's pompous declarations, his endless stream of useless trivia, and his hilariously tragic personal life made him an instant hit with audiences. And instead of disappearing after one episode, Cliff became a series regular, appearing in 275 episodes over 11 seasons. What makes Cliff's survival even more impressive is that he wasn't written into the show. He literally talked his way into television history. His relationship with Norm, played by George Wendt, became one of TV's great friendships. The two of them perched at the end of the bar became as iconic as the Cheers sign itself. Ratzenberger went on to become Pixar's good luck charm, voicing characters in every Pixar film from Toy Story to onward. Not bad for a guy who was supposed to deliver one snarky line about the Postal Service and disappear forever. Number 13, Balki Bartokomous, Perfect Strangers. Speaking of characters who talk their way into our hearts with broken English and a whole lot of enthusiasm, let's talk about Perfect Strangers. Perfect Strangers premiered on ABC in 1986 and originally centered on Larry Appleton, a nice guy from Wisconsin trying to make it in Chicago. The premise was simple. Larry gets his own apartment, starts a new life, and boom, instant sitcom. Except audiences weren't buying it. The show felt flat, generic, like unsalted crackers at a party nobody wanted to attend anyway. Then producers made a desperate move. They brought in Bronson Pinchot as Balki Bartokomous, Larry's distant cousin from the fictional Mediterranean island of Mypos. Balki was supposed to show up for one episode, cause chaos, and leave. A quick ratings bump, nothing more. Instead, Balki became the entire show. His wide-eyed innocence, his dance of joy, and his butchering of American idioms turned Perfect Strangers from a forgettable sitcom into a cultural phenomenon. Suddenly, the show had a hook. It wasn't just about Larry anymore. It was about the odd couple dynamic between uptight Larry and exuberant Balki. The network executives didn't see it coming. They thought they had a show about an everyman in the big city. What they got was a show about a sheep herder from a made-up country teaching America about joy, friendship, and why you should never trust the elevator. Balki went from guest star to co-lead faster than you can say, "Don't be ridiculous." Pinchot's physical comedy and genuine warmth made Balki impossible to resist. The character became so popular that the show ran for 8 seasons and even spawned a spin-off, Family Matters, which we'll get to later, because that show has its own surprise breakout character story. Today, Bronson Pinchot continues acting and has become something of a real estate restoration enthusiast, which honestly feels very on brand for someone who once played a character obsessed with American culture. Number 12, Reverend Jim Ignatowski, Taxi.
The question often asked in our time is why marriage?
Before Christopher Lloyd was Doc Brown traveling through time in a DeLorean, he was Reverend Jim, traveling through whatever dimension his burned-out brain cells could still access. Taxi, which ran from 1978 to 1983, was one of the smartest, funniest sitcoms of its era. Set in a New York City taxi garage, it followed the lives of cab drivers dreaming of something bigger. The ensemble cast was already stacked with Judd Hirsch, Danny DeVito, Marilu Henner, Tony Danza, and Andy Kaufman. In Season 1, Christopher Lloyd appeared as Reverend Jim Ignatowski, a spaced-out former hippie officiating a wedding. He was meant to be a one-episode character, a gag, basically a walking punchline about the 60s gone wrong. The joke was simple. Look at this burned-out hippie, isn't that funny? Now let's move on, except audiences loved him. Lloyd's performance was so layered, so genuinely funny, that viewers demanded more. The producers brought him back, and by Season 2, Reverend Jim became a series regular and one of the show's most beloved characters. What made Jim work was that Lloyd never played him as just a stoner joke. There was genuine sweetness to the character, a sense that beneath all that brain damage was a person who had once been brilliant and kind. His famous driver's license test scene, where he slowly, painfully works through a written exam, is one of the greatest comedic moments in television history. Lloyd won 2 Emmy Awards for the role, and when Taxi ended, he went on to become a movie star with Back to the Future. But for fans of the show, he'll always be Reverend Jim, the character who was supposed to show up once and ended up stealing the show. Number 11, Alex P. Keaton, Family Ties.
Oh, no, she's your daughter. She's Melissa?
Here's a fun fact. The entire premise of Family Ties was supposed to be about the parents, not the kids. Specifically, not about their young Republican son who would go on to define an entire generation's understanding of Reagan-era conservatism. Family Ties premiered on NBC in 1982, created as a vehicle for Meredith Baxter and Michael Gross, who played Elise and Stephen Keaton, former Flower children, raising a family in suburban Ohio. The show was supposed to explore the clash between 60s idealism and 80s reality through the eyes of parents watching their values evolve. Then Michael J. Fox showed up as their oldest son, Alex P. Keaton, a briefcase-carrying, Wall Street Journal reading, Milton Friedman-worshipping teenage Republican. He was supposed to be a supporting character, comic relief, the annoying older brother who occasionally provided conflict. Instead, Fox's Alex became the heart of the show practically overnight. Audiences couldn't get enough of this pint-sized conservative lecturing his liberal parents about supply-side economics. Fox's comedic timing, his ability to make Alex both insufferable and endearing, turned a supporting role into the main event. By Season 2, NBC shifted its entire marketing strategy. Family Ties wasn't about the parents anymore. It was the Alex P. Keaton show. The network even changed the opening credits to feature Fox more prominently, a move that reportedly caused some tension on set, but was undeniable from a ratings perspective. The show ran for 7 seasons and launched Fox into superstardom. He left during the final season to film Back to the Future Part 3, proving that some actors can literally time travel between iconic roles. Today, Family Ties is remembered almost exclusively for Alex P. Keaton, the character who was supposed to be a footnote but became the headline instead. Number 10, Jesse Katsopoulos, Full House? Have mercy indeed. Uncle Jesse almost didn't stick around long enough to teach us about the healing power of Elvis impersonations and excessive hair gel. When Full House premiered in 1987, it followed widowed dad Danny Tanner raising 3 daughters with help from his brother-in-law Jesse and best friend Joey. The show was wholesome, family-friendly, and engineered to make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, like drinking hot chocolate while wrapped in a Snuggie. John Stamos was hired to play Jesse, originally named Jesse Cochran, for just a handful of episodes. The character was supposed to be rough around the edges, a little dangerous, the kind of guy who rode motorcycles and didn't care about bedtime routines. He'd help out briefly, then ride off into the sunset because, commitment issues. But Stamos had other ideas. He negotiated to stay on as a series regular, and the producers, probably realizing they'd struck gold with his charisma and hair, agreed. They even changed his last name to Katsopoulos to reflect Stamos' Greek heritage, which gave the show more cultural texture than generic handsome uncle. Jesse evolved from dangerous outsider to devoted family man who just happened to look like a Greek god and lead a band called Jesse and the Rippers. His relationship with Rebecca, his marriage, and eventually his twin boys became central storylines that carried the show through its later seasons. The character became so iconic that when Fuller House launched on Netflix decades later, Uncle Jesse returned as a key player, still impossibly handsome and still somehow making leather vests work in a family sitcom. Number 9, Newman, Seinfeld. Hello, Newman, 2 words that wouldn't exist if Larry David had stuck to his original plan. Seinfeld, which premiered in 1989 and became the defining sitcom of the 90s, was a show about nothing that somehow meant everything. Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer navigated New York City with neurotic precision, turning everyday annoyances into comedic gold. Newman first appeared in season 1 as just a voice. Larry David himself provided the off-screen voice of Jerry's nemesis neighbor, and that was supposed to be it. Just an occasional disembodied presence representing everything Jerry found irritating about apartment living. But when the show got picked up for more episodes, David and Jerry Seinfeld decided Newman needed a face. They cast Wayne Knight, and suddenly Newman went from running gag to full-fledged character. Knight brought a scheming, petty energy to Newman that made him the perfect foil for Jerry. Newman wasn't supposed to be a regular. He was supposed to show up occasionally, cause minor chaos, and disappear. Instead, he became essential to the show's ecosystem. His feuds with Jerry, his partnerships with Kramer, and his general mail carrier malfeasance made him one of the show's most quotable characters. The Hello Newman exchange became so iconic that it transcended the show itself. You didn't need to watch Seinfeld to know that greeting. It entered the cultural lexicon like a virus, spreading through water cooler conversations and family dinners across America. Knight continued acting after Seinfeld, appearing in films like Jurassic Park and TV shows like Third Rock from the Sun. But he'll forever be remembered as Newman, the character who almost stayed a voice in the void. Number 8, Sophia Petrillo, The Golden Girls.
Defense mechanism. I guess it's to hide my feelings when I'm deeply upset.
Picture it. Sicily, 1922. A young girl is born who will one day become one of television's most beloved characters, except she almost didn't make it past the pilot. The Golden Girls premiered in 1985 and changed the game for television. Finally, a show about older women that wasn't patronizing or dismissive. Rose, Blanche, and Dorothy were sharp, funny, and dealing with real issues while eating cheesecake at the kitchen table. Estelle Getty was cast as Sophia Petrillo, Dorothy's mother, for the pilot episode only. The character was written as a guest star, someone who'd show up occasionally but wouldn't be part of the main cast. The network figured 3 women was the magic number for a sitcom. 4 would be too crowded. Then the pilot tested with audiences. And Getty absolutely stole the show. Her rapid-fire insults, her picture-it Sicily stories, and her unfiltered commentary made her an instant favorite. Test audiences didn't just like Sophia, they demanded more Sophia. The network scrambled to make Getty a series regular, and the Golden Girls, as we know them, was born. 4 women, not 3. Sophia's presence added a generational dynamic that enriched every storyline. She could be the voice of old world wisdom 1 minute and a scheming troublemaker the next. Getty won an Emmy for the role in 1988 and continued playing Sophia for 7 seasons on The Golden Girls, plus some appearances on the spin-offs The Golden Palace and Empty Nest. She became so identified with the character that people would stop her on the street asking for life advice. Without Sophia Petrillo, The Golden Girls would still have been good. With her, it became legendary. All because test audiences knew better than network executives, which, let's be honest, isn't exactly a high bar. All right, we're about halfway through this countdown, and if you're enjoying this trip down memory lane where TV executives almost ruined your favorite shows, do us a favor and hit that like button. Drop a comment telling us which character on this list you can't imagine the show without. And definitely subscribe because we've got more retro TV content coming your way. Now, let's get back to the list because the next few entries include a physical comedy genius, a neighbor everyone hated, and a vampire who was supposed to be dust. Number 7, Kramer, Seinfeld. That's right, Seinfeld makes the list twice because apparently the show about nothing almost had nothing at all. When Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David created the pilot for Seinfeld, originally called The Seinfeld Chronicles. In 1989, network executives at NBC had a lot of notes, and one of their biggest concerns was Kramer, then called Kessler and played by Michael Richards. The NBC suits didn't get Kramer. They thought he was too weird, too physical, too much. They wanted him cut from the show entirely. The character made them uncomfortable, which in hindsight is hilarious because making people uncomfortable was literally Seinfeld's entire brand. Seinfeld and David fought to keep Kramer, arguing that the character provided a necessary counterbalance to Jerry's observational humor and George's neurotic energy. Kramer was chaos personified, bursting through doors with the energy of a cartoon character operating in live action. The network reluctantly agreed to keep him, and thank God they did, because Kramer became one of the most iconic characters in television history. Richards' physical comedy, his pratfalls, his rubber-faced expressions, and his absolutely insane entrances turned Kramer into a phenomenon. The character was based on Larry David's real neighbor, Kenny Kramer, who later tried to capitalize on his fame with a Kramer reality tour in New York City. Because nothing says authentic New York experience like a tour led by the guy who inspired a fictional character. Richards won 3 Emmy Awards for playing Kramer and created a character so distinctive that people still try to recreate his entrance at parties. His post-Seinfeld career had its ups and downs, but Kramer remains untouchable as one of sitcom's greatest creations. Imagine Seinfeld without Kramer. No sliding entrance, no Kramerica Industries, no giddy up. The show would have survived, but it wouldn't have been the same. Sometimes network executives don't know what they're talking about. Actually, strike that. Most times, network executives don't know what they're talking about. Number 6, Kimmy Gibbler, Full House. Every great sitcom needs an annoying neighbor, but usually they don't stick around for 8 seasons in a Netflix reboot. When Full House introduced Kimmy Gibbler, DJ's best friend and next-door neighbor, she was supposed to appear in 1 episode. Just a quick guest spot to give DJ someone to interact with outside the Tanner family. The joke was simple. She's weird, she's awkward, her feet smell, and she drives Danny crazy. 1 episode done, see you never. Except Andrea Barber's portrayal of Kimmy was so committed, so fully realized in its strangeness, that producers kept bringing her back, and back, and back again. Before anyone realized what was happening, Kimmy Gibbler had become a series regular. Here's the thing about Kimmy. Audiences were divided. Some people found her hilarious, a breath of fresh air in a show that could get too saccharine. Others found her unbearable, like nails on a chalkboard, if the chalkboard was also wearing ridiculous outfits and eating all your food. But love her or hate her, you remembered her. And in television, memorable beats forgettable every single time. Kimmy's bizarre fashion choices, her obliviousness to social cues, and her unwavering loyalty to DJ made her impossible to ignore. Barber appeared in over 100 episodes of Full House, becoming as much a part of the Tanner extended family as any blood relative. When Fuller House premiered on Netflix in 2016, Kimmy returned as a main character, proving that even annoying neighbors can have incredible staying power. Today, Barber has spoken openly about stepping away from acting after Full House to focus on personal growth, only to return for Fuller House, because sometimes the universe brings you back to where you started. Kimmy Gibbler wasn't supposed to last 1 episode, and she lasted decades. Number 5, Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. From annoying neighbor to British vampire with cheekbones that could cut glass, let's talk about Spike. Buffy the Vampire Slayer premiered in 1997 and redefined supernatural television. Sarah Michelle Gellar played Buffy Summers, a teenage girl chosen to fight vampires, demons, and the forces of darkness, usually while juggling homework and relationship drama. In Season 2, Spike and Drusilla arrived in Sunnydale as big bads. Spike, played by James Marsters, was a punk rock vampire with bleached blonde hair and a leather duster. He was supposed to die after a few episodes. The plan was simple. Introduce Spike and Drew, have them cause chaos, kill off Spike, and let Drusilla carry the rest of the season's arc. But something unexpected happened. Audiences loved Spike. Marsters brought a swagger and vulnerability to the role that made him instantly compelling. His chemistry with Sarah Michelle Gellar was undeniable, and fans started rooting for a vampire who was literally trying to kill the protagonist. Creator Joss Whedon saw the response and pivoted hard. Instead of killing Spike, they kept him around, first as an antagonist, then as a reluctant ally, and eventually as one of the show's main characters. His redemption arc, his love for Buffy, and his journey from soulless killer to unsold champion became one of the show's most complex storylines. Spike went from scheduled death to series regular to spin-off character when he joined the cast of Angel in its final season. A character supposed to die in season 2 lasted through the entire Buffy run and beyond. James Marsters continued acting after Buffy, appearing in shows like Smallville and Torchwood, but Spike remains his defining role. The vampire who was supposed to turn to dust became immortal in the hearts of fans instead. Number 4, Arthur Fonzarelli, Happy Days. 2 thumbs up if you know where this is going. Happy Days premiered in 1974 as a nostalgic look at life in 1950s Milwaukee. The show centered on the Cunningham family, particularly Richie Cunningham, played by Ron Howard, navigating high school, sock hops, and Arnold's Drive-In. Arthur Fonzarelli, better known as Fonzie, or the Fonz, was a minor character in the pilot. He had a few lines, established himself as the local cool guy, and was supposed to fade into the background. Henry Winkler was contracted for just a few episodes, but audiences immediately gravitated toward Fonzie. Winkler's leather jacket, his slicked back hair, his ability to start jukeboxes with a single punch, all of it created a character that radiated cool. Even though Fonzie was supposed to be a supporting player, viewers wanted more. By season 2, Fonzie was getting equal screen time with Richie. By season 3, he was the star of the show. Happy Days went from being about the Cunningham family to being about Fonzie's adventures, with the Cunninghams serving as supporting cast. The character became such a phenomenon that jumping the shark entered the cultural lexicon after an infamous episode where Fonzie literally jumped over a shark on water skis. The phrase now means the moment a TV show goes too far, loses its way. But ironically, that episode was hugely popular when it aired. Fonzie became more than a character. He became a cultural icon. The leather jacket, the thumbs up, the eye... all of it transcended television and became part of American pop culture. Henry Winkler never quite escaped Fonzie's shadow, but in recent years, he's experienced a career resurgence with roles in shows like Arrested Development and Barry, the latter earning him an Emmy in 2018. Turns out the Fonz still had some cool left after all. Number 3, Sam Malone, Cheers. Wait, didn't we already talk about Cheers? Yes, but this one's different. This is about how the entire show almost had a completely different lead character. When Glenn and Leigh Charles created Cheers in 1982, they originally envisioned a different central character. The show was supposed to revolve around Coach, the lovable but dim-witted bartender played by Nicholas Colasanto. Sam Malone, the former Red Sox pitcher turned bar owner, was supposed to be a supporting character. Ted Danson almost didn't get cast at all. The network wanted someone with more star power, someone audiences would immediately recognize. Danson was a relative unknown, and executives were nervous about building a show around him. But the creators fought for Danson, recognizing that he had the charm, the comic timing, and the ability to make a recovering alcoholic womanizer somehow likable. They restructured the show to make Sam the lead, with Coach as the supporting player. That decision saved Cheers. Danson's Sam became the anchor that held the entire show together. His will-they-won't-they relationship with Diane Chambers drove the first 5 seasons. His friendship with the bar regulars gave the show its heart, and his vanity and womanizing provided endless comic fodder. When Nicholas Colasanto tragically passed away in 1985, the show brought in Woody Harrelson as Woody Boyd, and Cheers continued for another 8 seasons with Sam firmly at the center. The show ran for 11 seasons, won 28 Emmy Awards, and is considered one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. All because the creators took a chance on making the supporting character, the star, and casting an unknown actor in the lead role. Ted Danson went on to become one of television's most respected actors, starring in shows like Becker, Damages, and The Good Place. But Sam Malone remains his most iconic role, the character that was supposed to be secondary but became legendary instead. Number 2, Steve Urkel, Family Matters. Did I do that? Oh yes, you did. You took over an entire television show. Family Matters premiered in 1989 as a spin-off of Perfect Strangers. It was supposed to be a workplace sitcom about Carl Winslow, a Chicago police officer, and his family. The show was wholesome, family-friendly, and honestly kind of forgettable. Then in episode 12 of season 1, a neighbor kid showed up. Steve Urkel, played by Jaleel White, burst through the door wearing suspenders, high-waisted pants, and oversized glasses. He was supposed to appear once, cause some chaos with his crush on Laura Winslow, and disappear forever. The audience went insane. Studio audiences literally cheered when Urkel appeared. The laugh track couldn't keep up with the genuine reaction. Jaleel White's commitment to the character, the catchphrases, the physical comedy, all of it created an instant phenomenon. Producers scrambled to bring him back. Once became twice, twice became regular, and regular became, this is Steve Urkel's show now, and everyone else is just living in it. Within a season, Family Matters transformed from a show about the Winslow family to the Steve Urkel Show, featuring the Winslows. The transformation was so complete that ABC even briefly considered renaming the show. Plotlines that should have focused on Carl or Harriet or the kids instead centered on Urkel's latest invention or scheme. The show added transformation chambers, clones, and sci-fi elements just to accommodate Urkel's storylines. Was it good for the show? That's debatable. Did it save the show from cancellation? Absolutely. Family Matters ran for 9 seasons, almost entirely on the strength of one character who was supposed to appear once. Jaleel White struggled with typecasting after Family Matters ended, but he's since carved out a career in voice acting and occasional TV appearances. He's made peace with Urkel, acknowledging that the character changed his life even if it also defined him in ways he didn't always appreciate. Steve Urkel wasn't supposed to last 1 episode. He lasted 9 seasons and became one of the most recognizable characters in television history. Number 1, Mr. Spock, Star Trek. Live, long, and prosper. Those 4 words wouldn't exist if NBC executives had gotten their way in 1966. Star Trek premiered in September of 1966 with a revolutionary premise. A diverse crew exploring space, seeking out new life and new civilizations, boldly going where no man has gone before. Creator Gene Roddenberry envisioned a utopian future where humanity had overcome its prejudices and worked together for exploration and discovery. The network had other ideas. NBC executives hated Mr. Spock. They thought the character with pointed ears and green blood was too alien, too strange, too satanic. Yes, satanic. Network executives in the 60s actually worried that a pointy-eared science officer would offend religious viewers. They demanded Spock be written out after the pilot, just kill him off or write him off the ship. Replace him with someone more human, more relatable, more acceptable to middle America. Roddenberry refused. He fought to keep Leonard Nimoy in his character, arguing that Spock represented the show's entire premise. An alien working alongside humans, contributing his unique perspective, embodying the diversity and inclusion that Star Trek was supposed to represent. The network reluctantly agreed to keep Spock for a few episodes, figuring they'd slowly phase him out once the show found its footing. Except, that's not what happened at all. Spock became the breakout character. Leonard Nimoy's measured performance, the character's logical approach to emotional situations, and his raised eyebrow became instantly iconic. A fan mail poured in, with teenage girls writing love letters to the emotionless Vulcan. The network couldn't kill him off, even if they wanted to. By the 2nd season, Spock was the face of Star Trek. Not Captain Kirk, not the Enterprise, but he's half-human, half-Vulcan science officer who was supposed to be too weird for television. Spock's impact extended far beyond the original series. The Vulcan salute became a cultural phenomenon. Nimoy played the character in the animated series, 6 Star Trek films, and even the 2009 reboot. The character influenced 50-plus years of science fiction television, proving that sometimes being different is exactly what audiences want. Leonard Nimoy struggled with and eventually embraced his association with Spock, writing both I Am Not Spock and later I Am Spock to work through his complicated relationship with the role. When he passed away in 2015, fans around the world gave the Vulcan salute, honoring an actor and character that almost never made it past the pilot. Without Spock, Star Trek might not have survived its initial run. Without Star Trek, we wouldn't have decades of science fiction television exploring similar themes. And it all almost didn't happen, because network executives thought pointed ears were too weird. And there you have it, 14 beloved TV characters who were supposed to die, disappear, or fade into obscurity in season 1. From mailmen to vampires, from nerds to Vulcans, these characters prove that sometimes the best television happens when creators fight for their vision against network interference. Which character on this list surprised you the most? Did you know the Fonz was supposed to be a minor character? Could you imagine Seinfeld without Kramer or Newman? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into TV history, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more retro TV content coming your way. Until next time, this is Remember When. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.